Team Liquid with the opportunity here to look for at least another top 5 performance from what we saw in that previous game. And that position almost becomes stronger if they want to play that height, considering the lack of Valkyrie and rotational abilities for the teams a little bit later on.
Now, just to give you an idea of how well RRQ are playing right now, they've matched the winning points total from our previous series of Gaming Gladiators at 57 points after just 4. If they carry on this trajectory, they are going to be such a dominant force, or considered one, especially when you look at this lobby and some of the teams that are involved in it. I thought this lobby was going to be tighter, to be honest, but RRQ have been able to just put themselves head and shoulders above the rest.
Well, Nemesis have got a long way to go here before they get towards Barometer. That's going to give them the idea that everybody is already ahead of them. 21 enemies going to be scanned by that survey beacon. The evac goes down. On white armor, they've decided that the quick rotate is the play here.
Now, we've mentioned players that have been built up and the next big thing as this gets destroyed, not built up. Sacred, I feel, is another one of these players who is potentially going to be the next big thing. Maybe he is the next big thing, I don't know. But this is his first real major LAN where he has been part of a major roster. We did see him at the ALGS Open, but we have seen him compete, of course, through Pro League. And Nemesis have trusted in Sacred, and he has been phenomenal throughout Pro League. The numbers he's been applying, just insane.
So Nemesis having the evac destroyed, they're going to choose to go towards Cenote now. They have the option to hit the survey beacon there, and they can also just wait for the next ring information as well if they choose to at Cenote. They can dip into the ring once it closes to hit that ring console. KNC a little bit further away though. Kinotrope Club going to be hitting the evac right now from outside of Command Center. Cover a little bit more ground towards the south. Ninjas in pajamas. I feel like this is a really big moment for them, this game number 5. A weak performance here would be very, very disappointing for them. A lot of teams already in front of them in zone as well, and not a lot of Evo on their path as well here, Dan. This is going to be a really tough one for them. They haven't even managed to get up to blue, and Vayne is almost blue in the face there as he exhales, has to jump into the void to survive.
E36 who've got eyes on at the moment. They are just trying to escape, but they cannot get out of the sight lines. Remember, NIP, the #1 seed coming out of America, is coming into this. They're going to try and hold, but Kurev now has to escape.
Yeah, Kurev's got to get out of there. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do so. 2 players have been finished, so Kurev now on fuse. He's going to turn into a human cannonball, and he's going to fly through the skies to try and get out of dodge. Now, one good bit of news for Ninjas in Pajamas and Kurev is that there's nobody on this side of the map, so he can escape for now.
Replicator there.
But where do they reset here? Where do they get the team back into the game?
I think it delays their rotation so much, which is going to make it far more difficult in the late game. That being said, at least they are not out, as Enter Force 36 try and play spoiler, as now Alliance under a little bit of pressure here, or maybe Alliance are the ones applying the pressure, but Aku has gone down.
Aku falls. The ult was enough to pop him up into the skies, and now Hackis Unlucky just decide that they've got to try and get out of there. I think that Unlucky has made the unfortunate call that he will be the one to slow down the push here and allow Hackis to get away. So even though Unlucky does go down, it's almost like a part of the escape plan for Alliance. As Hackis did take the opportunity just to scarper away. He's got a few percentage left on that Valkyrie. He's going to try and find a place to pop it, I think.
Yeah, it was very much planned. When Aku went down, Hackis was already gone. Hackis often is just far enough away to be able to make sure he can get that reset. Oh, actually,
1v3.
Can you just get the death boxes? He is being careful here. He knows he's potentially being followed, so he might have to go for the big wraparound up towards wall. It's not comfortable, it's not fun, but it's probably the safest route available. Alliance will be able to get back up on their feet at some point, but the death boxes are defended. Or will they? I mean, are we going to get a hunt here?
I think the hunt has started. Now, trust me, Dan, you've played enough Apex Legends with me to know that if I was in the air as Hackis there, I would have said winnable.
I also have been in enough Apex Legends that if I am Hackis in this situation, I'm always getting chased. And the thing is, with a player like Hackis, it's going to be in the back of your mind, I could be chased. We know how intelligent he is, but at the same time, in his shoes, or in his mind, he's probably thinking, I would never chase this. I would be focusing on getting to the late game. Could he get caught off guard?
Well, they've seen him go here. This is the thing, right? They saw him fly through the skies. The worry is that Hackis probably has in the back of the mind, there is a crafter here, so there's a good chance that they may think, oh, he's going to hit crafter here, so they maybe are going to try and chase me down. That's why Hackis has decided, as you can see from Neo, they've checked the crafter and they've seen that he's not there. I've got to play this one a little bit slower. I've got to wrap all the way towards the north, and I think the Neo have decided, you know what, this isn't worth it. We're not going to find Hackis. It's time to allow Alliance to reset.
Hackis has to go to E District to try and rest the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's a long way.
That's how far they were going to chase him, but now they will allow it to happen. But that being said, when they do get the res up, there's always going to be the chance that you get held out now. So Alliance in a difficult position.
Ninjas in the Pajamas, by the way, have managed to reset. So Kurev has done a fantastic job. You can see them on the left-hand side of the map right now over at Cenote Cave. So 3 players back on their feet. They won't be dressed as well as they were previously when it comes to attachments, when it comes to ammo and obviously supplies in the backpack, but at least they can take a part in this game and see if they can make something of it. Alliance will be hoping they can do something similar as well.
To be fair, I don't even know how much they had. They were not necessarily in the best position.
They didn't look the wealthiest, shall we say.
I think they went from poor to poor, and now they're going to have to see if they can work their way in from that west side, but it's about just being alive. That's all that matters, as we also check in with VKG. Our current reigning champions of EWC haven't been able to get going similarly to the likes of NIP and Alliance, but they are holding out Team Vision at the moment, and they've got eyes on them.
In that ring console to find out where the zone is going. No Valkyrie here for Vision, though. We're going to be hitting the Nitro gates. We're going to be sliding on the knees and get a little bit of a carpet burn. And queuing through to head towards Pylon by the looks of things. The interesting thing is that Elite Esports are currently here. You have to wonder if they're aware of that. Oh.
Hackis in the kill feed going down. It was the ring, though.
I think he got his teammates back in, but just didn't have the meds to survive himself. Should be dragged back to his feet, though.
Yeah, they should be okay, but it is certainly not going to be a fun journey at all from that northeastern side all the way in. As Neo will just bypass Enter Force 36 on their rotation, so they're not even considering holding out Alliance. This is probably the smarter play. Start to think about the end goal here and picking up more points, as Aku also just went down to the ring.
We can jet over there.
So there's going to be a lot of rezzing happening to get Alliance back into this game. Now Kinotrope, they could potentially play spoiler here to Vision, who you mentioned earlier had gone over to Pylon to hit survey beacons, ring consoles, whatever they wanted to gain information. They might shadow Elite Esports though with their rotation as well. I always think it would have been interesting, you know, we never really have a Bloodhound meta at the moment, but just being able to see those remnants of people you're following. Because it very much is interesting how similar the pathing that is taken by some of these teams.
Well, Alliance have done it. Hackis has managed to do it. He's got his teammates back into the game. They're healthy enough. But they still have a lot of work to do. Only 33% on the Valkyrie as well. Grabs a couple of extra syringes to drop off to his buddies.
They need them.
But how do they work their way in from here? That's the real question. They're going to work through Jurassic. They've got Kinotrope on the south side. They've got VK holding the fence line on the west side as well. It's a really tough rotate here for Alliance.
And no Skyward Dive available at the moment either. And probably not any ultimate accelerants to work with, considering how poor they're going to be in terms of their inventory. Not good for Alliance at all. By the way, Newcastle, the most selected legend in this lobby. It really is funny how much it changes the legend bans. As soon as you get one different ban, it opens up so many different avenues. So Valkyrie will be surviving this entire series.
Alliance are safe. But the zone is pulled to the north. Now, very, very interesting. Let's think back to the last game where it pulled out down to the southwest, where Team Liquid were able to play this tower for such a long time, the main structure of Barometer. Well, that's completely changed for them now. They have to try and work their way towards the north side of this zone. The good news for them is I'm pretty sure that they just had a Mythic bin spawn on them they're going to be able to pick up. So not only is that great for the fact that they're going to be able to get the weapons, of course, but the level up on Evo, massive for them, considering they weren't able to extend out of their POI early on due to the fact it was pulling towards them. So Liquid have just been blessed by that.
Scary on the map. I'm seeing RRQ and Alliance going toe-to-toe at the moment. I think RRQ just caught Alliance off guard.
They
yes,
just
they
caught
did.
Hackis in the backside.
But thankfully they will get the drag, and Alliance just haven't been able to catch a break at the moment, but that is going to open things up to Pirates, who are also now sending themselves into the equation, but RRQ are going to retreat. There's a lot of respect being shown to certain teams at the moment. You don't want to overcommit to one of these fights, because as soon as you engage, if there is the potential of a third party, you're going to lose.
Well, hopefully the Alliance prayers are answered here, as unlucky Aku and Hackis
Thanks, yeah.
probably looking to go to the skies very soon to find a place to play. Hackis rips the Valkyrie. We'll have to see where they land. Elsewhere, Ninjas in Pajamas, they've finally got into a more advanced tax bracket and have got up to purples and blues. And now they're going to look to fight on the edge of this egg. Portal goes down. It's going to be Zipline Mafia who are inside.
Breach charge initially, see if you can tag and get rid of anything that's going to be defending Zipline Mafia, as now they will full send it here. A lot of damage has been done. Zipline Mafia get the opener, but it's traded out, and now they've lost two.
Oh, it's clean.
It is as quick as that. It's clean from NIP.
It's so clean from NIP, and the fences coming down as well in the middle of that fight from Cole. Just stunned everyone on Zipline Mafia. So Ninjas in Pajamas win the fight, build a bit of confidence, and now have a safe spot inside of zone as well.
Speaking of inside of zone, Alliance have been able to land pretty much dead center and set up shop. So they will be able to compete potentially in the final circle if they don't get focused, as RRQ, our leading team. I had mentioned they're on 57 points, the same as what Gaming Gladiators were able to get after 6. They've not added any since. But there's still 18 squads remaining, that's why, as this zone gets even smaller, far less room to play.
One thing they can do is, if anyone tries to take that other side of the bridge, is bully them with Fuse. And firing those knuckle clusters, it would be such an uncomfortable place to have to play. Where the zone is going, though, like you mentioned, Alliance are safe and have kind of, from the edge of disaster, made something work in this game. The Valkyrie into zone was perfect. The reset early from Hackis was well judged. And now they've got to make the most of the situation they find themselves in. RRQ trying to pressure Ninjas in Pajamas. Both these teams will not be safe on zone close.
That being said, with where Alliance are, they are in a very vulnerable position depending on where people try and force themselves in. Team Liquid have just flown in and been able to put themselves near the pipes, but you can see Alliance applying a little bit of pressure there. Thankfully, Team Liquid have been able to utilize this rock to their favor. But they can also play spoiler to Alliance a little bit here from distance.
Let's check this quadrant.
And most importantly, they can play spoiler to those who are arriving from the west, like NIP and RRQ.
Yeah, in the perfect position to third-party that fight should it take place. Both those teams have to move, and they have to move across open ground as well. So TL are focused on those two teams. The Gen's position well as well. It's just eating up all the Valk missiles that are flying towards them. Those missile swarms are not going to do anything when it comes to breaking the shield economy of the team. Nemesis up on the high ground, not safe for the next zone, but will be safe for this one on close.
It's about that time where everyone's using Skyward Dive, getting up and trying to find a spot to play, or utilizing the Wraith they have available as well. Even those Axles being put to use with those Nitro Gates just to speedily move across the map, as Aurora also have moved up to the north. Nemesis taking the fight as well. Oh. Nemesis win said fight quite comfortably, although I say that, they were not alone. Sentinel was able to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, Nemesis get inted, and then Sentinels clean up the pieces. RRQ now moving up to the position that is held by Team Liquid. And Ninjas in Pajamas now are looking to pitch them. Shots coming in from all kinds of angles here onto RRQ, who still hold down first place, still 57 points to their name, and now they're getting Fuse ulted and burnt and singed as Dogred will fall the other side of the map. Team Liquid want to clear this one up, and they want to finish it quickly. RRQ are gone as TL will pick up the KP.
Second place taking out first place. That's fantastic news for Team Liquid, and now they kind of hold this other side, and they're playing spoiler to NIP as well. That's another team removed from the lobby. NEO will disappear.
That's what they position themselves to do. Get away from the majority of the traffic, hold out the teams rotating in, but now they have to move again. They should have the Skyward Diver available pretty soon as well, as Reject will be eliminated from the lobby next. Sentinels on this height, looking to pepper any teams who are going to be Skyward Diving in, and one of those is in front of them right now. That's going to be GK Esports, who just fell into this corner. They do get the castle wall down though. Blix is going to be careful.
Sentinel's also aware of BK Gaming right below them, but of course under that bridge, so Sentinels can't do much about it. And Sentinels will have to drop eventually. They're not going to be in zone on this building. And that's why they're a little bit concerned about some of these teams that will have sightlines on them. Another worry is Aurora, who are on the north at the moment, but Team Liquid, the amount of space they've been able to take here, now you've got to try and reposition with this Skyward Dive, because yes, you've been able to dominate, you've got the kills,
We could jet over.
but walking in is going to be tough.
Another bogey.
Yeah, the walk-in is almost impossible. It has to be a Skyward Dive, and you can see by the fact that they're going to wait for the zone to really get to the very edge of closing before they take to the skies. That was always going to be the play for them. Now you hope, now you scan, now you try and see if there's an opportunity to find somewhere to land or third party. TL look like they're going to land on the outside of this building. They're taking damage, but the Q goes down. But Legacy from SAUL is peppering them from above.
Breach charge came down, no one has fallen
It's a
yet
big
though.
gen.
As Team Liquid now can try and stabilize. A lot of eyes on them. Legacy is getting a great angle as well, but can maybe some other team help Team Liquid here? As Alliance also getting involved in a scrap.
Well, the gen's just been broken. That's massive, because that was keeping Team Liquid alive. That was allowing the shield to be regenerated as they sat in that corner. And now with that gone, all of a sudden Liquid find themselves in a tough spot. Dino's eliminated next. Sykes trying to get his IGL 0 back to his feet and manages to do so.
Survival of the fittest at the moment, and it's all about that Newcastle shield, which is keeping Team Liquid alive. Vision are going to be able to help them here, though, because look, SAUL, they're being sent on. It opens things up to Team Liquid.
Liquid just trying to survive. Top 10 is where we find ourselves in the game. Half the lobby is in spectator mode. The rest of them trying to see what points they can make out of this game. Hackis is last alive. Will find himself the last to fall as Alliance will be eliminated as Aurora now move up from that west side.
Who else but Aurora to take down Alliance? As now, with Vision and SAUL still distracting one another. Team Liquid still staying alive below them. Kinotrope are just ahead of Liquid though, so Liquid are unable to kind of hop up onto this building and get involved in this fight. Their attention's elsewhere too.
SAUL have to move, and they have to move soon. But what is their intention? They do not have Valkyrie. They do have Legacy on the Wraith though, so a Wraith Ball is a play for them, or do they look for KP on this side of map before they make that play? Liquid has somehow managed to survive, by the way, cycling through the utility. But the Legends in their composition offer, it's reses, it's Qs, whatever it will take. Team Liquid have used it to stay healthy.
Sentinels have gone down. Team Liquid, by the way, they have another gen, they have another Castle War, and they probably have another Skyward Dive here shortly as well. So all of the utility, all of the ultimates you could want to try and reposition. Can they find another victory here to try and play catch-up to RRQ, who they had taken down previously?
Oh, Vision, Loa's got to be careful as Jesco, combined with Legacy, manages to pick him off as Visions were trying to make a play to see what damage they could do. Aurora on this west side, peeking and prodding at VKG. Here comes the portal now from SAUL. Legacy jumps into the void,
Contact with target.
through the fences, and finds a little corner to call home.
8 teams alive in this final circle. 7 of them have
Peekaboo!
Newcastles as well, as Aurora taking a lot of damage, but SAUL will find somewhere to call home here. Great reposition from the Wraith.
So it's starting to close on them as well. By the way, GK, who landed and would get peppered a little bit earlier on, and now bang center zone and up as a full 3. Team Liquid starting to do some damage themselves. That's 2 dead from 2 different teams. Sykes has gone down. That's the Newcastle. And now Liquid have to try and clutch, and this man could do it. Panicked it in the last game. Can he now again?
Liquid said it's go time. We have to take advantage of this. He needs to work with Zero, the last remaining player, as Liquid will be wiped out in 6th place. Down to 4 now as VKG also gone.
GK get another wall down, and they might control the height for the longest in this game. KNC, by the way, still in a good position up on the high ground themselves. It's SAUL, who we saw move a little bit earlier, who is staring into the whites of the eyes of Elite Esports in front of them. Everyone is peppering Elite as KNC now make the play onto Gian. GK. SAUL weak down on that low ground. Elite still weak as well. They will fall next, up into the skies, but it's not enough, as Kinotrope will clutch the final moments and take game number 5.